Good morning. So we had to get T and Marley up and out of here this morning, so I'm a little late, getting ready to go out and do the morning jaunt. So happy Tuesday, and what if you're in one of those situations where it seems like nothing's working, and and especially if we're talking about finances, career, life path. Not talking about if there's a health crisis or if somebody in your family is not in a good way that way, but I'm talking about like the personal, where am I going to go, what's going on with my business, what's going on with my career, what's going on with my life, and I really feel like everything that I'm trying to do right now isn't working. What if you're in that situation? And we've all been, most of us have been there. If you haven't been there, you're going to be, so look forward to that. My biggest one was 11 years ago when I had done everything right, and you guys had heard this, and I lost it all, and had to figure out how to climb back out of this massive hole. So here's what I can tell you. Number one, you will find a way. If you're determined, if you got a big enough why, then you will find a way. Now, if you don't have a big enough why and you're not determined, then you'll float down the river, and you're not going to figure it out. So it's got to be something where you continue to keep trying. And the people that end up with massive regrets are the ones that give up. Those are the ones that have massive regrets. Remember, there's two types of pain: the pain of discipline and the pain of regret. Discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons. So you don't want to be the person that ends up with the massive regret. So message number one is keep going. Message number two: if you talk to people who have achieved the level of success that their dreams were about, whatever that is, and whatever that is for you, if you talk to people who have done that, who have been through the dark times and then were able to achieve their outcomes, when you ask them about their journey, they don't ever talk to you about where they are now. They don't talk about, I mean, they'll talk about it just to kind of say, I can't believe that I'm here, but they don't go on and on and on about where they are. They talk to you about the difficult times. They talk to you about those times when they couldn't afford, the meal, and they couldn't afford the people that I know that have achieved in particular significant financial success and did it on their own and had to go through, because if you're going to do that, you're going to have more than one very difficult time. When you talk to them about their journey, they will go back to the days when they had nothing. And they will laugh. They will smile at those days. And they will look at them as some of their fondest memories. Because you look back at that and go, I survived that. I got through that. And look where I am now. But I remember that time when I looked around and I was like, oh my God, I have absolutely nothing. And I can't believe that this is where I'm at. And they look at those times with actual fondness. For me, I was flat broke. Everything I did, it was like I was in quicksand. Everything that I did, it seemed like all I did was sink. Nothing worked. And, my child was living out in California, and there's no way I was going to miss a scheduled visit with her. So I was using miles on my credit card in order to get tickets. And then I figured out that Frontier Airlines who had just bought another airline. They were based in Denver. They'd bought another airline that was based in Milwaukee, Allegiant. I think they had bought Allegiant. I don't know. I don't remember. But it had gotten them into LA. And so I could fly out of Milwaukee and get a pretty good deal to get to LA. Well, Frontier Airlines in LA was a total mess. It was a total disaster. Like you couldn't even get through security in time to get on your plane. Didn't matter what time you got there. You could get there 3 hours early and you would never make it through security. They would have to come grab you to get you on your plane. And the planes were all overbooked. So they were always offering vouchers. And I figured this out by accident. So I started flying Frontier. And every time I would book a flight in the morning, because they would be overbooked, and they would offer a free voucher if you were willing to get bumped and leave later on in the day. And so I did that like 4 or 5 times in a row. So I got 4 or 5 free tickets because I didn't have any money, and there was no way I wasn't gonna, come out and see my daughter. Well, the tickets that I got were horrible. I mean, they were like red eye tickets, and you had to connect. You were flying from Chicago to Los Angeles, and you'd have to connect through like Minneapolis or something. I mean, they were just terrible. And so one of my tickets coming back, I was flying on Easter Sunday, and I had like a 6 or 8 hour layover in Kansas City Airport. And if you've been around to airports in the United States, Kansas City is about the worst airport that there is, because it was designed in a very unique way right before 9/11. Then after 9/11, it totally screwed up the design. So the airport is set up so you can't get to any food, you can't get to anything. It's just a mess. So I'm there on Easter Sunday. Well, nobody's there. There's a TSA agent, and there's one person who's going to do our tickets when the plane comes in to take us back to Milwaukee. And there was basically nobody on that plane. So I'm sitting in the middle of this airport on the floor with my laptop plugged in, working. And the only thing that I can get to eat is a bottle of water out of a vending machine, and a bag of chips out of a different vending machine. And it's Easter Sunday. And I remember thinking to myself, remember this moment, because there's going to be a day where you can, fly wherever you want, and whatever class, all that stuff. Remember this time. And I actually stopped and looked around, and I even called my daughter, and I wrote in her journal, and I just said, you and I need to remember this moment, because life's going to get better. I'm going to figure this out. But here I am on Easter Sunday, sitting on my laptop on the floor all by myself in Kansas City Airport, and I can't even get like a meal of any type. All I can get is a bag of chips and a water. And I look back at that time fondly, because I see how far things have come. So if you're in that spot where everything seems like it's not working, like you're just in quicksand, and every time you move you just sink, number one, you're gonna come out of it. Okay? If you have a big enough desire, you'll figure it out. And number two, take heart, because you're gonna look back at this time, and you're gonna actually smile at it, because it's gonna make you the most of who you are supposed to be. We've used this metaphor before, but a diamond is simply a lump of coal that got put through enough pressure. One of the greatest things about the difficult time that I went through 11 years ago is it made me the most of who I always wanted to be. It made it so that I got focused. It made it so that I got my health in order. It made it so that I enhanced my relationship with my daughter. It made it so I got rid of relationships that I needed to get rid of. That period of my life forged me to become more of who I wanted to be as a person than anything else that I'd ever experienced. And that's what these times will do for you. If you're going through one of those difficult times, you're getting forged. In order to create magical, beautiful steel, you got to go through fire. It's got to go through trauma in order to get created and become something incredibly strong and beautiful and incredibly useful. And that's what you have to go through in order to get on the other side. If you want to be a Navy SEAL or a Marine, you got to go through basic training. You got to go through Hell Week. And then when you come out the other end, you're that much stronger. So these challenges in our life, that's what they do for us. They make us that much more of who we're supposed to be. So trust that you're going to look back and go, in a way, that was one of the best times. The worst times sometimes turn out to be one of the best times, because it makes us the most of who we are. Have an awesome Tuesday, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.